So it's fun to know that the Broncos made the right decision. I feel bad for Brock because he's not playing where he thought he was going to be playing. And then the Chargers almost came up big for us too. They almost beat the Raiders. They lost 19-16. And I watched most of that game, and the Chargers were manhandling the Raiders. So if you're Raider fans out there, you guys were pretty much getting manhandled. You almost lost a game that you guys should have actually blew the Raiders. If the Raiders were a good team, like people say, I was just talking to one of the women from our Bronco group. If the Raiders were as good as people say they were, they would have beat the Chargers 40-19 or 40-16, not 19-16. The Raiders are a flimsy team. I don't see them as a real contender. It's because you have New England. The Raiders are not going to beat New England. But the Broncos could beat New England. Yeah, they took a loss last night, and we'll talk about that. But we'll get more in detail about that, is what I mean. And then you come over to the Dallas Cowboys, who almost got upset by the Buccaneers, and they pulled it out 26-20. But the Buccaneers have been coming along and playing better. You remember one of the Bronco wins was against the Buccaneers with Paxton Lynch playing quarterback, which Paxton Lynch and oddly went 2-1 as a Bronco starter. And you have Trevor Siemian, who's went 6-5. If you really look at the record and you really look at the details, there's not really a big difference. I think if Paxton Lynch, and I've said this before, would have got more of the plays or more of the games under his belt, like the last two games, I think that the Broncos would be 9-5 or maybe even 10-4 if Paxton Lynch would have been playing, because you had somebody out there hurt playing, and that wasn't the right route to go in my opinion. So the Cowboys over the Buccaneers 26-20, and then tonight you had the Panthers and I just brought up that score 25. What was it? 25 to. I just had the score brought up for you. Get into all my 26-15. The Panthers beat the Redskins. At the end of the game, I wasn't listening. I was just watching, but it seemed like the Carolina quarterback was kind of going off on the Redskin fans. I don't know if he was going off on their fans or what he was doing, but it seemed like he was going berserk on it. Last but not least, of course, I have to bring up the Bronco game. 16-3, the Patriots beat us. And like I said, the whole game, the defense really kept us in the game. We just have a quarterback that does not know how to lead a team to a victory, and that's it. Trevor Siemian, yeah, I get a lot of inboxes upset with me because I talk about it every week about Trevor Siemian not knowing how to lead the team to a victory, and I'm just telling the truth, you know. I'm just telling it like I see it. It's not like I still support Trevor Siemian. He's not the guy. He's not going to be here next year. The Broncos are going to go out and get a quarterback, and it very rare, you know, it may be Paxton Lynch. Paxton Lynch may be the future. But right now, we know for a fact that Trevor Siemian is not the future. And the way the coaches are leaning and talking, excuse me, the way the coaches are talking, it don't seem like Trevor Siemian is the future. And if you switch it around, like I was saying earlier, how do we know right now if Paxton would have been the future? If they would have took Paxton as the starter, which I had been saying from the beginning, you know, the record could be different or it could be worse, and we could know if we got a future of a quarterback. I had some questions. I had some inboxing me earlier asking if Paxton Lynch should be playing these last two games. Personally, I think he should be playing these last two games to see where we're at, to see what we got for quarterback. So we know if we have to go out in the draft and get a quarterback, or if we have to sign a quarterback, because we already know Trevor Siemian's not the future of the team. That's a proven fact. So we know that for sure. But we don't know. What we don't know is who is going to be the quarterback. Like I said, are they going to go out and get a franchise quarterback in the draft? Are they going to trade for somebody? There's a lot of questions in the air about that. There's a lot going on about who is going to be the quarterback, and personally I can't wait to see. Yeah, I don't want to look too far ahead because we still got the playoffs, and we still got a chance to go into the playoffs and get a who, like I said, all it takes is getting in the playoffs. If we get in the playoffs and the Broncos pull one out, and then they pull another one out, and they pull another one out, before you know it, we're back in the Super Bowl. And over on the NFC side, I honestly, in my opinion, I don't see anybody on the NFC side that could actually beat the Denver Broncos on the NFC side. On the AFC side, I see a couple teams that could compete with us that come down to the wire, but I don't see a lot as far as the NFC goes. I really don't see the strengths in the NFC. Yeah, Atlanta got us when we had a backup line in there, and we had Paxton Lynch playing. If the line was stronger, if the line was the regular line that Simeon would have had on a normal basis, I think that it would have been a totally different game. So that's the way I see it. I'm going to get into a real quick product that I know about, that I want to let everybody know about. So if you do get a chance, I want you to try this product out. I think you'd be really happy with it. So I'm going to go into that. When we come back out of that, I have the top 10 for Karen, my friend Karen, who listens to the show, the top 10 fantasy players of the week. I hope I got the right list, because my analytics, me and my analytics guy, we were working on that earlier, so I hope I pulled the right list on that one. And I'm going to announce the top 10 fantasy players of the week after I do this quick announcement for you guys. And you're listening to KBLP, live at IKE on the Sports Podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been amazing, and I'm going to do this real quick announcement for this product. Okay, so about 10 years ago, when I was in my 20s, a little over 10 years old, I'm giving away my age, I had to get a root canal done, and I was so frustrated and so upset, and I was like, what should I do? So I did some research on toothpaste, and I came across a product called Tom's, and it's fluoride free. So in all honesty, you have enough fluoride in your water and everything that you do on your daily basis to last you pretty much a lifetime. So this is a fluoride-free toothpaste, and it helps your teeth grow stronger. I haven't had a root canal since then, or had any problems since then. No cavities, no anything, and it has whitened my teeth a little more. Tom's has been in business since 1970, so they've been around going on 47 years. I use the anti-plaque and whitening peppermint. I use the peppermint fluoride free. They have several products, so make sure you go out and you try one of their products. They got some amazing products that makes your breath feel fresher, your teeth feel better, your gums feel better. And they have, like I said, they have several different kinds of the toothpaste. You can find it at your local grocery store, your local health food store, or your local pharmacy. So make sure you stop by one of them places and you check out Tom's of Maine. And I think you'll be real happy with it. It's a little more expensive than your regular toothpaste, but if you want to keep your teeth whiter and healthier, I think that you need to check out this product, so that way because you don't want to be sitting in a dentist chair doing a root canal. They're not very fun. I had one, and I never want to go back for another one. I'll tell you that right now. But you're live at Ike Diaz, the Ike Diaz Sports Show. Next week, I got a co-host that's going to be coming in with me to help me co-host the show. So make sure you to check in. It's a surprise co-host, and I'm real excited about it. I've been talking with him about being on the podcast for a while, so he's real excited about coming in and doing the show with me. I went through a stage where I brought some women in to co-host, and I think that they're awesome. The problem is I lost a lot of listeners, and I was really upset, and because I think women could talk sports just as good as any man. So shout out to all the women who talk sports, who are sports podcasters, announcers. Anything you do, I respect you so much, and I wish some of the listeners would. So I know I'm getting some of my listeners mad because some of them are the ones that got upset with me by bringing them in. But I was proud of them. I thought they did a great job. But I just wanted to bring that up, not to offend anybody, but it's funny. Some of them said they wouldn't listen to my podcast no more because of that reason. But hey, I'm going to give me another co-host, and I'm going to have another woman co-host because I think women co-hosts are awesome. I think they know their game. I think they know the game of football now, and I think they work hard. I think they work harder than some of these other sportscasters. I know. Look at me get into a rant. I don't want to get into a rant. I got a little upset because I got an email. I got a couple emails about it from some of my listeners about my co-host, so. But it is what it is when it comes to that. So I'm working hard and going forward. So I'm going to get into but shout out to all you women podcasters, all you women sports announcers. I am so proud of you guys. Keep doing what you're doing and keep working hard. Don't listen to any of these goofballs because there's a lot of goofballs and trolls on Facebook, and they say some really mean things, but as far as I'm concerned, I believe in you, and you believe in you, so that's it. So real quick, the fantasy for this week, I'm making sure it's the right one, because I pull up all these stats on my Stephanie Chavez. Shout out to Stephanie Chavez. I just got an inbox from Stephanie Chavez. Shout out, Stephanie. Thanks for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate it. Real quick, we had from New Orleans, the wide receiver, B. Cooks, Brandon Cooks, wide receiver. Atlanta's running back was Devontae Freeman. He balled out. Again, you had Drew Brees from New Orleans, the quarterback. Usually when you have a wide receiver in the top 10 fantasy, usually your quarterback's in the top 10 too. And then you had LaShawn McCoy, running back for Buffalo. And then Ty Montgomery from Green Bay, who plays running back and wide receiver. And then Matt Moore he must have played pretty good for Miami. Because he came in and took over for Tannehill, who got hurt. But I guess Tannehill may be back this year. There's 2 games left in the season. I guess he may be back. Hey, you got a kicker on this list, Chris Boswell from Pittsburgh, and then Zeke Elliott made it top 10. Zeke's balling from Dallas, the running back. David Johnson, Arizona running back. Arizona's shocking me too, falling out of the playoff run. I thought they were going to be a contender this year again, like last year. And then the Dolphins defense was in the top 10. So there's your top 10. Karen, thanks for always listening to my top 10. She always steals my top 10. That way she knows what to pick for, because she's in those fantasy leagues and all that. And last week, I think she told me she won $600. I thought it was $500. But she won $600 in her fantasy league. So it was pretty cool that she done that. So I'm glad I give out that announcement for her fantasy. Everybody loves this fantasy stuff. I'm learning more about it. It's been around for quite a while, for like 30 years. People have been running fantasy, and I'm learning a lot about it. So it is pretty cool to know a little bit about it once you talk about it. So it's pretty fun. It's pretty exciting. What was that? Did I have so I got the Broncos one. We're gonna get into the Broncos injury report, which is not as bad as people thought, and then also stats on the Broncos, and I'm gonna recap a little bit of the Broncos, And then I'm also going to give a prediction for